2021 spring college football season kicked off for a couple of teams in the CAA over the weekend. James Madison and Elon opened things up with Morehead State and Davidson, respectively. By now, I'm sure you know the outcome of those two games, and if not, I look forward to your carrier pigeon delivering the results. Spoiler alert, if that's the case, JMU, for their part, rolled against Morehead State. And if you didn't know any better, you might look at Morehead State, you might say, well, they must have a little cupcake to them, but if 2019, I guess, is the last reference point we have, if 2019 is any indication whatsoever, Morehead State's not bad. 52-0 win against the Eagles is a pretty impressive way to start the spring. I mean, you're talking about a team that went 5-7 in 2019. They hung 73 on Kentucky Christian at one point, and they have, key pieces back on both sides of the football. So, take that for whatever it's worth. But the Dukes never let them breathe. I mean, they suffocated them from the outset. They ran for 369 yards. They allowed 1.7 yard per play. The defense did. That includes -6 yards rushing on 30 carries. JMU was ranked in the top 5 coming into the season, and it kind of feels as though they may still have been a little underrated with that backfield, that defense. As far as Elon, a little tougher go, but for good reason. They were up against a Davidson team that went 8-4 in 2019, 5-3 in the Pioneer League, and they brought back the majority of their key pieces, particularly on defense, and it showed up in the first half. I mean, the Phoenix trailed 20-12 at the half before they were able to erase that deficit, and then ultimately scored the go-ahead touchdown with 32 seconds left to get out of there 1-0. Joey Bothman was very impressive, starting in place of Davis Cheek. Cheek obviously went out for an injury shortly before we were able to get the spring season going here. Bothman looked great. Jaylan Thomas, the 2018 CAA Offensive Player of the Year, he looked fantastic. In 2019, for whatever reason, Jaylan never really got it going like he'd wanted to, but he's off to a red-hot start to start the 2021 spring season. And we'll talk to Jaylan about his performance and about the season that he has in front of him in just a moment. But before we do all that, I just want to acknowledge what the players and coaches in the CAA are really, players and coaches across the FCS really are up against here. I don't think it's get enough attention. Like, never before in any of their lives have they been playing meaningful football games in February, March, and April, which is what they're all doing now, what they're all about to be doing. And I'm sure on its own, that's definitely got to be strange enough. You couple that with the fact that, these guys also had to be so patient and so disciplined, kind of keep their eyes on the prize, so to speak, for the past 5 months while they watch their FBS counterparts play every Saturday. And we'll get into that with Jaylan a little bit as well, like the oddity of just sitting on your couch watching college football at this point in your career. On top of that, there's the health and safety aspect of it all, the protocols that obviously have to be followed, the stress of not necessarily being able to hang out with your friends the way that your friends are hanging out. I mean, that's easy to overlook because we look at college football and we look at these guys and, they carry themselves in a very, very professional manner. But at the end of the day, you're looking at 18 and 22-year-olds who, their friends may be going to bars and large gatherings and whatnot. They're not able to do that, for fear of testing positive themselves and missing a couple of weeks of what is already going to be a short season, or, being the reason that, the teammates and friends of theirs are in that spot themselves. So you have that on top of that. And then, while we're at it, you're talking about playing teams out of conference who, generally you have no familiarity with, and no film really exists beyond whatever they put on tape in November of 2019. So you're preparing to play teams blind, essentially, and then you're playing what amounts to a round-robin conference schedule wherein, we mentioned Elon and James Madison. Those two teams play each other twice. And if you're Elon or if you're JMU, you got to feel like you got to earn a split there to, advance to the FCS playoffs more than likely. The football field is absolutely their sanctuary. The players and coaches, playing the games is the fun part. So there's not one person that you would talk to that would have it any other way, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that what each of these guys is doing right now for the past 5-6 months, for the next couple of months, it's remarkably impressive. And I think that, as a collective, we should all be quick to recognize that. So, with that said, let's talk to Jaylan.
We got Jaylan Thomas, the running back for the Elon Phoenix. He's joining us right now. Jaylan, how we doing, man? How you feeling today?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling great, man. It was finally got some sunny skies out here in North Carolina, up here in North Carolina, 68 degrees. So I can't complain. All smiles this way.
Glad to hear it, man. Hey, big game for you. A few days ago, the opener against Davidson, 129 yards, a touchdown on just 13 carries. Did a little quick math. I think that was 152 with total yards of offense. It's basically a first down every time you touch the ball. So let's start there, and eventually I'm sure I'll circle back to it. But you hadn't played, and I was gonna say 13 months. And you just said 15 months, right? So how did it feel?
Right. It felt good. It was a little rough adjusting the game speed, but everything felt good. It was exciting. Emotions were high at the beginning of the game, just knowing everything that we had to go through to get to play one football game. Because you don't know week by week whether you're going to get to play this game this week or this game the next week. So emotions were high, and we had a good turnout with the crowd. I think Elon, we did a fantastic job of limiting the tickets in the stands so we get the crowd into the things. And so I think, I feel good. I feel excited about moving forward.
Good. You're trailing 20-12 at the half. What was the conversation in the locker room? I mean, I want to get into a lot of the nuance involved here, and you alluded to some of it, but off the bat, man, I just want to talk like football in particular. You're down 8, locker room, like it has to feel like a normal game, right? Just normal conversations about bouncing back.
Yeah, it was. You're down 8 going to the locker room, and you just in the locker room is how can you figure it out? We have to figure it out. We have to get better. And it was communication from the coaches to players, players to players. That communication right there at halftime just showed that, we're still in this game. There's still a chance to fight, and we got ball coming out of half, and our main goal was that we need to score points. Points
Oh,
was our main goal, and we ended up getting 7, and it just all went uphill from there.
yeah, mission accomplished. Not even 2 minutes 2 minutes into the second half. I think it was like a minute and 40 some odd seconds. You guys get across midfield, second down and 10, and I mean, look, I actually have it. I got the play up right here. I had it queued up before we talked. It's nothing crazy, man. It's 11 personnel. You got twins to the field. They
Right.
put 7 in the box, single safety high, tackle pulls, gets the kick out. You break a tackle from the corner. I'm not really sure what the safety's doing there, and now you're gone. Take me inside your head on that play because that really shifted the momentum back in your favor. I felt like.
Right. It was so like you said, it was 2nd and 10, and one of the main things we wanted to do was we wanted to come out and we wanted to, keep doing what we were doing. We had ran the ball well in the first half. We ran the ball good. We just had a limited number of opportunities to be on the field because of their offense and drain the clock, and they do a good job of running their offense. But what we wanted to do was we wanted to come out in the second half and score. And they called the play. And honestly, to be quite honest with you, I did my job. The running back coach tells us all the time on this run play, stay, do your job, stay in your mindset, do what you have to do on this play. Don't worry about nobody else. And I was able to do that. I was able to get to that second and third level due to the fact the offensive linemen did their jobs and everybody did their job on that play, and it became a successful play.
Man, MDB's got to know better than to try to tackle you by your feet. That is a recipe for disaster. What is going on with this? I have to ask this group shrug celebration in the end zone. What is that?
Oh man, my freshman year. Funny story. My freshman year, my first game here in Roller Stadium, we played Furman. It was I think it was like 5 o'clock kickoff, 6 o'clock kickoff at night. I told Cortez Weeks, me being a freshman, I didn't really know if I was gonna get in or not, but I was like, if I get in, I'm gonna score and I'm gonna shrug my shoulders. And it's been a thing that just stuck ever since then. But yeah, it's just us having fun and celebrating.
Man, that's great. Had to feel good to get the win here after what I'd have to imagine. About I know coming into the season how we felt about Elon last season. I mean, how we felt about Elon, how you guys felt about yourselves. some close losses, some games that just kind of got away from you early. And obviously you weren't able to really get it going the way I know you expect to. And then you just had to sit with that for basically forever, thanks to the
Yeah.
pandemic. So, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, but just like take me through the past year, the past, 15 months, waiting to get back on the field, waiting for Saturday, basically.
Yeah, like you said, like I weren't. Well, I don't think I was able to really get it going like I wanted to. But a lot of it was on me. It was a lot. I did a lot of self-reflection after the year last year, and kind of figured out what can I do to make me a better player than I have been in the past. And I changed up some eating habits, changed up some workout routines. I got in. Me and our head strength and conditioning coach, Nick DeMarco, we got together and we just did a whole body transformation, and we wanted to focus on really speed, more quickness and reaction time, because we felt like that was the most important thing for me this off season. So I feel like I used all this quarantine time once Corona hit. It was a good time for self-reflecting and really focusing on myself so I can be a better athlete for the team, and I can help everyone else on the team be better around me. So during quarantine, during the whole pandemic thing, I just really focused on myself and focused on what can I do better to make the team better.
Man, that's great perspective. I know, I think it went one of two ways. Some guys used the time off to get better, and some guys it was real hard for. When you find out, you're going to play in the spring, because it happened kind of late. I know we were hanging in there, like, I don't remember exactly what it was, June, July, something like that. And then CAA comes out and they say, we're going to postpone, push it, whatever it is. What did the fall look like for you guys, just in terms of like the Saturday routine? I imagine you're sitting on your couch watching the FBS guys play, right? And that had to be tough.
Right. Well, we had said as the whole team that the spring season and the fall season, this upcoming fall season, is going to be determined by who puts in the work during quarantine and who puts in the work while they're at home. You can't leave the house. Who puts in the work, and that's what we wanted to do as a program. From the coaches on down, we all kind of took it upon ourselves to be better, and starting in the fall with practicing and slowly working our way back into the swing of things, not rushing back into things. So like the fall, we got an opportunity to practice a little bit, do some fall ball, to do some a couple scrimmages, and practice a little bit. So that was cool. Saturdays, it was kind of nice I haven't been able to sit back and watch college football game day or watch the big time games, and since I was in high school. So I kind of enjoyed that moment with some of the fellas on the team, just sit back, watch the games, and just vision that being you in the spring, and just learn from someone else.
No doubt. This may be a dumb question, but did it feel different walking on the game field in February versus what it feels like walking on the game field in September? Was there a moment where you were like, no, it's February? Or was it once you cross a white line, it's all the same?
Yeah, it was weird, but in today's society, in today's world, everything's weird.
It's weird. That's a good point.
Yeah,
if it wasn't weird, it'd be weird, right?
Right. Everything's getting weird. It's kind of backwards. We starting the season off in the cold and ending when it's warm. Instead of starting when it's warm and ending when it's cold.
Right.
So, but whether you're playing in February, whether you're playing in September or August, you still have to play. You got to go out there and give 100% every time, and just enjoy the moment and have fun in the moment, and don't take it for granted.
That's great perspective, man. I need to borrow some of your perspective for me. I need to get more positive on my end.
Oh man. It's just more of like just the way I go through life, man. Just everything could always be worse than what it was, and just enjoy the moment, enjoy life.
I appreciate that. So you guys lose Davis for the spring. We found out about it pretty late, which obviously that's a big blow. But Joey stepped in, and I thought he managed the game really well against Davidson. He was really obviously very efficient in the passing game, high completion percentage, no turnovers. He gave you 73 yards on the ground. And what can you tell me about Joey, not necessarily different than Davis, but just what he brings as an individual to your offense?
Um, I think Joey can bring the same thing that Davis brought to the offense. Obviously, you see more carries from Joey than you would see when Davis is in the game. But Joey brings that big playability. Davis has the big playability, but Joey brings it on the feet as well as the through the air. So I'm just excited, proud for Joey, for him to get that moment and for him to be able to manage the game how he managed and to do what we do. Because I think we all knew us, Elon, like the Elon community, we all knew what Joey Boffman had the whole time and what he could bring to the table. It was just when could he show off his talents and when could he get the opportunity. And the door opened for him and he walked right through and he did great with the opportunity, and hopefully we can just stay consistent with it and we can help him out in the back end.
Yeah, you took advantage. You got one more non-conference game this weekend at Gardner-Webb. It's their opener, and they haven't played a game since November 23rd, 2019. So my question, man, is how are you going about scouting them this week? Have you just been able to rely on like whatever 19 film is available, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's difficult. Gardner-Webb was 3-9 last time they played. We understand that they're not a 3-9 team. They're not that 3-9 team anymore. They're a very better team than what they were then. It's just more focusing on ourselves and what can we do to grow from last Saturday to this Saturday. And that's what we're basically focusing on. We're focusing on ourselves really and, getting a little bit into the Gardner-Webb and personnel, but it's all of what can Elon do to make Elon better this week.
Sure. Well, once you get done with them, you open up CAA play. You got JMU up first, which in this weird year is the same team that you're going to close conference play against in April. And they say it's tough to beat a team twice, but y'all going to have to beat basically everybody twice this year. Have you let yourself look ahead at the conference schedule yet? And if so, I'm just interested to hear your perspective on how much more difficult it might be when you're basically playing a 4-team round robin for the right to get to the playoffs.
Yeah. Like we said earlier, if it's not weird, then it is weird. But I haven't really looked ahead a little bit. I'm just focusing on week by week, taking it a game at a time. That way we can focus on staying consistent and focus on working on ourselves. But in these weird times, you're going to have to beat the team twice. And shoot, if the team makes the playoffs, you might have to beat them 3 times.
Yeah, it might be a 3rd time.
Yeah, so it's really not ideal, but it's something that you just, you have to live with. It's one of the things that you got to let the chips fall where they may and keep pushing ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, at least everybody's in the same boat, right? Like everybody else has to do the same thing. So if there's a team up to it, man, I think it's Elon. I admire you guys a lot. We enjoy watching you, and you're a fun watch, and you're a fun player to watch, man. 2018 CAA Offensive Rookie of the Year. If you're doing them like that every week, man, I think there's a handful of teams that are really, really not excited about seeing you guys twice or, like you said, maybe 3 times. I appreciate your time, continued health, and best of luck this spring, Jaylan. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you. Best wishes to you, and best health to you.
Once again, I want to thank Jaylan Thomas for taking a little bit of time to chat today. Obviously, he's an impressive player to watch, but when you get a chance to visit with him a little bit, he's an even more impressive guy. So really enjoyed that. Wish him the best of luck moving forward. Elon is at Gardner-Webb this week. We will not have them. We will, however, have another JMU game for you. Robert Morris is at James Madison Saturday, February 27th. And then we move to really the league play at that point. So Friday, March the 5th, we've got UAlbany on the road at New Hampshire. And then a full slate for you on Saturday. Maine's going to hit the road, go to Delaware. We got Villanova at Stony Brook. Richmond hosting William and Mary. And then the game that I had previously alluded to as well, Elon hosting James Madison. Again, those teams will open and close the CAA conference schedule against one another. So we're looking forward to all that. We're really happy to have more football back on FloFootball. We're obviously happy to have CAA football back. It's going to be a fun year, and we're looking forward to it. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys next week.